the Friends set kind of takes me back. It was the mid-1990s, and if it was Thursday night, my college friends and I, we were crammed on couches watching Friends. It was what you did. Thursday night was must-see TV night, and the show Friends was about a group of young adults living in New York, and they were trying to get their lives started. And so for me at the time, it was a very relatable show. I loved it. Anyway, the characters had very different personalities. So if you know the show, how many of you were Monica's? Yeah, okay, that doesn't shock me. Then I was kind of a Rossi type person too. So everybody kind of had their personality in the Friends cast. Now, the week before Thanksgiving on its first season, there was the episode, the one where Underdog gets away. And it was on the year that the big Underdog balloon got escaped at the Macy's Thanksgiving parade because of winds, which involved the whole group of friends getting locked out of their apartment and the dinner being ruined. Here it is.
Well, turkey's burnt. Potatoes are ruined, potatoes are ruined, potatoes are ruined.
Here we come, walking down the... This doesn't smell like Mom's.
No, it doesn't, does it? But you wanted lumps, Ross? Well, here you go, buddy, you got one. Oh, God, this is great. The plane is gone, so I guess I'm stuck here with you guys.
Hey, we all had better plans, okay? This was nobody's first choice.
Oh, really? So why was I busting my ass to make this delicious Thanksgiving dinner?
You call that delicious?
Stop it!
Now this feels like Thanksgiving.
Up until my life, when that episode aired, my memories of Thanksgiving were so happy. I had such good memories of Thanksgiving. There were funny stories with family and friends. There was the one where the turkey caught on fire. We loved that one. The one where we as teenagers ate ourselves into a near sugar coma, just eating a ridiculous amount of food. But my memories were all good. Until they weren't. There have been times when the holidays broke my heart, when they hurt. There was the one eating a vending machine Lunchable for Thanksgiving dinner in this crappy hotel somewhere in Indiana. There was the one with a very empty chair at the table. And worse. I didn't know what the future would hold. I didn't know that the holidays could hurt. I didn't know how fragile family and life could be. There was a lot I didn't know then. I didn't know how much the words of the 27th Psalm would come to mean to me.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord, and to seek him in his temple. For in the day of trouble, he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his sacred tent and set me high upon a rock. Then my head will be exalted above the enemies who surround me. At his sacred tent I will sacrifice with shouts of joy. I will sing and make music to the Lord. Hear my voice when I call. Lord, be merciful to me and answer me. My heart says of you, seek his face. Your face, Lord, I will seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my helper. Do not reject me or forsake me, God my Savior. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Teach me your way, Lord. Lead me in a straight path because of my oppressors. Do not turn me over to the desire of my foes, for false witnesses rise up against me, spouting malicious accusations. I will remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord.
You know, as I went back and I looked back at those fond memories from childhood, I realized that there was a lot more going on that was behind the scenes that I didn't get at the time. I had friends whose parents were divorcing. We're trying to put on a brave show at Thanksgiving. Or I remember one of my friends, her father was having an affair with another person who we were having Thanksgiving with. That was a problem. That was a problem. And I've been thinking that you've probably been there too. That maybe it's the first time that you were away from families and all your traditions. Maybe it was a hospital trip or a diagnosis during the holiday season. And how many of us have had a Thanksgiving after someone's death? What's your story? What I've discovered, though, is that the Lord receives us. Even when the world rejects us, hurts us, when our bodies and our spirits hurt, you can wait for the Lord. God will not abandon or forsake you forever. Each week when we take our leave at the end of this time of worship, I usually say this. I say, our God of resurrecting grows with you and works through you always. God works through you. God works through people, powerfully through people who are our friends. There are immigrant households that are living around us today in fear after Nazi hate trashed their community center, trashed it. On Thursday, a few of us showed up at an event to say that we stand with them because every family has the God-given right to live in safety and in peace, particularly refugees who are fleeing persecution. There is a refugee family, just got an email this morning, the refugee family that we're sponsoring is almost here, who's going to show up in Kansas City any day now. And this church community, all of us, and along with our friends over at Kansas City United Church of Christ, we happen to be the welcome wagon. And all the items that you have pledged or you have given, the bedroom sets, to help them rebuild a life after having left everything, that matters. And what you just did moments ago, there are 50 households just living just minutes from here that are living in such poverty that they could not afford a decent Thanksgiving meal. But because of the boxes that you put together and packed this morning, they can celebrate this sacred holiday with dignity. Thank you. Thank you for being people like that. Because God works through people like you, through friends like you. What I'm saying is this. God's Spirit can work through you so that no one is ever abandoned or forsaken forever. All people will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, here. As long as communities like this one still come together in the name of God to be a blessing, to hold a hand out to a neighbor and call them friend, there is still hope. You and I, we are called into this community to be part of that hope, to extend hope into the world. And yet, I've come to know the painful realities of this world right now. In such divided times, I know that there are many people who are feeling alone or ostracized. And I hear, or I read online, I see the hurtful things that people say to one another, cruel things. And I even see that the church community itself is frayed. Of course it is. That there are those over these past few years who feel distant from God and from this little church community. I know that. And I was so frustrated when I heard that one of my absolute favorite events that this church community has, the Advent Festival and Chili Soup Cook-Off, I was so frustrated because it looked like it needed to be called off because of this year's upcoming renovations that begin a week from tomorrow. We're not ready yet. We will be. It was one of the great events that brings this church community together for no reason other than just coming together to watch them Chiefs, to make some Christmas crafts, and to have some incredible chili and soup. It is one of my favorite events. And honestly, there have been some years where there has been so much going on in my personal world that event has been my favorite holiday memory. And so, by the grace of God and by the inspiration of Martha Wolford, we're going to have that event. It's just going to be next Sunday at 3:30. And it's been a long time since we've been able to do this, just to come together for fun like this. And yes, as a church community, we are still on task for all of our outreach missions. And with your support, we're going to keep them funded and ready for whatever comes in the year ahead. But you know what? It's more than just the mission and the purpose. We also need to tend to the bonds of friendship, to have moments of fun and just to be together. Next Sunday at 3:30 is going to be one of those moments. Even more, we need to renew our effort to create small groups of friends this coming year. There can be in-person one, online ones, it doesn't matter. Each group can figure out how it wants to come together. And what's most important, though, is that at the end of the day, is that we do come together in Christian love and bind ourselves so that no one has to feel abandoned for long. Because it is God's Spirit working through their friends who won't allow that to happen.
Shall I carve?
By all means.
All right. Okay, who wants light cheese and who wants dark cheese?
I don't even want to know about the dark cheese.
Does anybody want to split this with me?
Oh, I will.
You guys have to make a wish.
Make a wish?
Come on, Thanksgiving. Oh, you got the bigger half. What'd you wish for?
The bigger half.
All right, I'd like to propose a toast. Little toast here. I know this isn't exactly the kind of Thanksgiving that all of you planned, but for me, this has been really great, I think because it didn't involve divorce or projectile vomiting. Anyway, I was just thinking, if you'd gone to Vail, or if you guys had been with your family, or if you didn't have syphilis and stuff, we wouldn't be all together, So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm very thankful that all of your Thanksgivings sucked.
That's so sweet.
And hey, here's to a lousy Christmas.
And a crappy New Year.
Yeah.